Good afternoon, my name is Alena Shautsova. I'm an immigration attorney from Brooklyn, New York. In today's video, I would like to discuss some points that may be helpful to you if you believe you may qualify for incoming immigration reform. While we do not know the specifics of the immigration reform, Biden administration several times confirmed that it will be their priority to pass an immigration bill. And Biden already committed to a specific immigration plan that includes, for example, holding off on deportation within the first 100 days, includes some relief for DACA and TPS holders within the first 100 days. So certain specific points were already discussed that Biden is going to try to implement into action within the first 100 days of his presidency. So what can you do and how can you prepare for this incoming immigration reform? Well, first of all, I would advise you to get a copy of your immigration file if you have one or if you ever had encounter with any immigration authorities in the United States. For example, if you're a TPS holder or if you are a DACA status holder or someone who tried to apply for any immigration benefit in the United States or had some law enforcement encounter, even if you do not remember the specifics of such an encounter, you should file a request for your immigration file with various immigration authorities. I have a specific video about how to get a copy of your immigration file from various immigration authorities, but you need to know that, first of all, if you do it yourself, it's free. You have to request your file from multiple sources like Immigration Court or EOIR, USCIS, this is an administrative branch of the immigration authorities, perhaps ICE and perhaps CBP. So it takes several months, however, to get those records. Just remember that. And for this specific reason, the sooner you start trying to get the records, the better for you. Second, you need to make sure that you met and you complied with your tax obligations. It's very important to obtain copies of your tax transcripts, and you can do it usually by requesting them online. Sometimes you have to submit certain applications via mail, but usually for the most applicants, it will be those transcripts will be available online. So it's important to show that you complied with your tax obligations. Now remember that at times people use not only their social security but tax identification number to file taxes. Perhaps you were filing taxes through a corporate entity of yours. So try to get as much proof as possible showing that you did comply with your tax obligations. Third, if you ever been arrested or had any state law enforcement encounter, you should get certificates of dispositions for those incidents. It's very important that you have complete records. If you have any outstanding matters that are pending, try to resolve them as soon as possible. But remember to consult with an immigration attorney before you enter any guilty pleas if you're not a citizen in the United States. In certain situations, if you're a naturalized citizen, you still should consult with an immigration attorney. There are instances when the unlawful acts, so-called, were committed before a person filed for naturalization, were finalized after the naturalization. USCIS did not know about that, granted the application, and later filed for denaturalization proceedings. Very, very important. Now, if you have any outstanding matters of any debt, let's say you have some unpaid judgments, let's say you have some unpaid or not handled properly traffic violations, please try to resolve those as well. It's always good to have all the matters that include you owing somebody something, if it's in your power, to be resolved prior to submitting any immigration applications. And lastly, you should have your birth records, marriage records available, divorce records available. If they're not translated into English, you should obtain such translations. It's very easy to find a qualified translator who can provide necessary certification online. All right, it's not that expensive and it's easy. Now, let's talk about one point that has been recently discussed in media. Harris, the incoming vice president, stated that they're looking to pass an immigration bill that would include automatic green cards for TPS and DACA holders. And some people understood it literally like the green cards would be just mailed to the people without any specific applications. While, of course, Ms. Harris did not include any specifics as to what specific plan would be. In most situations, I assure you, what they meant is that you would not have to wait any additional period of time to receive a green card, but you usually would have to submit some sort of application to get that green card. Consider a situation. For example, a DACA holder had some heavy criminal conviction after he or she renewed their status the last time. It would be reasonable to assume that such a person probably will not qualify for any automatic immigration benefit if the conviction is serious. For that matter, it would be reasonable to state that there will be no automatic green cards that will be just mailed to the applicants. But of course, anything can happen, even though I personally doubt that. I think that any immigration reform will be connected to certain applications that people will have to submit, perhaps paying some reasonable fees for them, and demonstrate their eligibility for such relief. Another point, Ms. Harris could have meant also that green cards will be automatic compared to the previous immigration bills that were drafted for DACA holders, and those bills included prolonged periods of wait time before the person may qualify for citizenship, for green card. And if I recall correctly, such periods of time would amount to almost 11 years before DACA holder would actually would be eligible to file for citizenship. So I think what she meant is that it will be much faster, and the eligibility for citizenship and green cards, and people will not have to wait this additional period of time would not have to have some in-between status before they can actually file for green card or citizenship. This is just my take on that. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you find that this video helpful. So please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you soon.